Facebook, it's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I thought about getting on a step mill. I thought about it because, Lincoln Riley said, hey, if Ryan Day called me up and said, do y'all want to come up to the shoe and get a game this weekend, we would not only say yes, we would love to. And then they were like, are you sure? And he says, yes, we would love to play Ohio State this weekend. And what's crazy about this for me is that this year, Oklahoma can claim a better defense than Ohio State with Alex Grinch calling the plays. And we all know how Ohio State fans feel about Alex Grinch. And I don't think that Alex Grinch would take lightly the opportunity to go get the Scarlet and Gray after the way they've been dragging his name the last couple of years, right? Like, Oklahoma is going to get damn near 40 sacks here, even with the West Virginia game being canceled, as both of these teams are going into their respective conference championships off of what is effectively a bye due to COVID outbreaks on either side of their opponent, right? West Virginia had to cancel due to COVID, and then, of course, Michigan had to cancel due to COVID. Man, Michigan already leaving the mud. I'm joking there. I just had a brain lapse there. I also wrote about Ohio State, Michigan on Fox Sports today, so go check that out. But, for those of you out that don't know, before there were 58,000 subscribers to this channel, and before all this other stuff started happening, I can't wait to tell y'all about, I, for real, found a piece of cardio equipment, talking about Baker Mayfield, planting that flag at the shoe, getting one back for the team, right? I'm in grad school up at Oklahoma State, pursuing an English degree in PhD in creative nonfiction. Anyway, feels like so long ago, and it was only 3 years, dog. Anyway, I would love to see this because Justin Fields versus Spencer Rattler is on the bucket list for me. I would really love to see that. And also, we got a battle for a 5-star wide receiver in the balance, as Emeka Egbuka is set to make his decision between what is widely considered to be two teams. Washington is a distant third, Oklahoma and Ohio State. Now, of late, Ohio States have been feeling pretty good about themselves and feeling pretty good about what this could be for their squad. Now, Oklahoma was feeling pretty good earlier this week when Caleb Williams dropped a blog on the SI talking about how close he feels he is to Egbuka. And also, Williams had the inside track here because in a pandemic where nobody's allowed to make any official visits, Williams could treat Egbuka like an official visitor because his parents and he moved to Norman, dog. It's a really nice place for you to be. But add to this, what's Ohio State going to look like next year? What opportunities is Egbuka going to get to play right away? We know that Marvin Mims has been showing out and that the freshman wide receivers and the freshman players in particular have been a big part of what Oklahoma's been. Whether that's due to the pandemic or not, you be the judge. I do know this. Outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Julian Fleming, and maybe a couple other dudes, we're not really seeing a whole hell of a lot out of Ohio State wide receivers. That said, they've only played 5 games, you know what I mean? And Chris Olave announced himself to the world in the game 4 years ago, 2016. 2 years ago. 2016 was the double overtime 30-27 win. 2018 is Chris Olave blocking punts, catching 2 touchdown passes, and Dwayne Haskins going for 396 with 6 tutties. Yeah, it was a shellacking. When Michigan was the higher-ranked team going into that, and then they get beat down 62-39, Urban Meyer leaves Ohio State undefeated. I also know that Oklahoma fans still feel some kind of way about how it went down 2016 Norman. It's a dark day. It's a real dark day. As a matter of fact, you can make the argument that Ohio State got into the playoff, not off their win against Michigan later that year, but off their win against an Oklahoma team, ends up going to Sugar Bowl and getting a dub. Also was the day that I thought that Caleb Kelly was going to be the man. Ugh. Anyway, I would love nothing more than to see Ohio State and Oklahoma play. Logistically, you can solve this because we have seen with BYU, Coastal Carolina, when both programs are motivated to go get a game, it happens. And what we are seeing now is nobody is motivated to go get a game. Oklahoma is not exactly motivated to go to Columbus, even if Riley says they are. Ohio State is like, look, we got a Big Ten championship to win, and we don't want none with no 2-loss loser, because what do we have to gain from this? How does beating Oklahoma make us a better football team to be selected for the playoff? I'm with them on this, because the system is rigged in such a way to where if you don't go get a game, you're benefited by it. And I want that to change as y'all continue to yell at me about my 16-team playoff. Expand the playoff, you cowards. I want a real national champion. I'm tired of this dodging people, man. I want to live in a world where Texas A&M can't dodge Coastal Carolina, where Ohio State and Oklahoma might actually have to play in a playoff situation where it 100% matters. In a situation where if Cincinnati's got to pull out, Tulsa's crowned the conference champion. Instead of having to go back-to-back in Cincinnati, Tulsa to Cincinnati, and now we got to go to Cincinnati for the American. Like, it just doesn't feel fair. And be truthful, college football has never been fair. It's been an oligarchy run by the brand names, run by the blue bloods. And we saw that over and over again throughout the years. University of Oklahoma sued the NCAA for the opportunity to play on more than 2 national TV occasions. Like, if you grew up in Ohio or Michigan, you probably are listening to your broadcaster all but 2 games, right? Michigan State and Michigan if you are Michigan State and Ohio State if you are Michigan. And I know Ohio State and Michigan, if you're Ohio State, might be one other one in there that you might be put on TV. That's probably in the non-conference game that you might get. But you get what I'm saying here, right? Like, we build a system in which we reward folks for not going to get games, unlike every other tournament system that exists in the world. I want that to change. I want college football to be about the people, about you and me, about the group of 5s that are undefeated and just want a shot. It's not about whether or not Coastal Carolina is going to win a national championship. It's about, did they get a shot to prove they are the best? Because anybody can get Ali Farouk Maneshed. All right, that's it for me.